Ever since 3L Atlas was first spotted racing toward our sun, astronomers have been on edge, and now their vigilance appears justified. As the interstellar wanderer nears the sun, telescopes have captured an astonishing sight: a 30,000-mile wall of fire at the edge of our star system. This has left scientists around the world in awe, with everyone wondering what this activity could mean for our planet, Earth.
Plume of gas around it is mostly carbon dioxide, 95% by mass, based on the Webb telescope data.
Allowing nickel to outgas, while iron remained bound in the nucleus.
An enigmatic, powerful radio signal that definitely came from outside of this Earth.
Atlas reaches Perihelion, the interstellar visitor. Atlas has officially reached the closest point in its journey past our sun, a position known as Perihelion. This marks a major milestone in its passage through the inner solar system. Scientists are watching the behavior that it exhibits as it moves close to the sun. Discovered on the 1st of July, 2025, by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System Survey Telescope in Chile, Atlas is indeed leaving the solar system at a high velocity. Scientists realized that it was coming from interstellar space, and it wasn't bound to the sun like other objects in our star system. Atlas has been following a hyperbolic trajectory, and that's another proof that it's not a typical comet from our solar system. In fact, it seems like it might have been formed in another star system up to 14 billion years ago, and has been travelling for eons before entering our neighbourhood. It might even be older than the Milky Way. Atlas' path is tilted retrograde and only modestly inclined relative to the ecliptic, making it unusual among interstellar visitors. On the 29th of October 2025, at about 11:47 UTC, Atlas reached its perihelion at a distance of about 1.356 astronomical units from the Sun, which is about 203 million kilometers. During this moment, the object reached its highest speed relative to the Sun on its outbound trajectory. Since Earth was on the opposite side of the Sun at that time, Earth-based observatories weren't able to track the object during this important phase. Reaching perihelion triggers the most intense phase of solar heating, outgassing, and tail formation for a comet or interstellar object. In the case of Atlas, scientists were expecting that once it reached perihelion, it might reveal decisive clues. They wanted to watch how it would respond when it's closest to the Sun, what materials would be released, and whether its behaviour meets the expectations for normal comets, or behaves in a way that hints at exotic origins. After passing perihelion, Atlas will continue on its hyperbolic path, leaving the inner solar system and heading back into interstellar space. Observers expect its brightness to decline as solar heating diminishes, and future close approaches will be monitored. After all the observations, experts noticed some strange behaviour exhibited by the Atlas as it approached the Sun at the closest distance. Atlas shows strange behaviour at perihelion. As 3L Atlas drew closer to the Sun, it entered another phase of its journey that has left scientists shocked and intrigued. While a comet approaching perihelion would normally accelerate under solar gravity and then decelerate on its outbound leg, the Atlas seems to have shown unusual deceleration and non-gravitational accelerations, triggering questions about its nature and origin. From the start, Atlas was seen as an interstellar object due to its hyperbolic trajectory. When it approached the Sun, the intense solar heating triggered outgassing of volatile ices from its surface. But what stood out is how that outgassing seems insufficient to explain the motion that scientists saw. According to Avi Loeb, the astrometric data between May 15th and September 23rd, 2025, showed that there was little to no measurable non-gravitational acceleration, despite what should have been a major rocket effect from mass loss. That means that the nucleus is much heavier and denser than expected for a normal comet. But when the Atlas passed its perihelion, around October 29th, Loeb revealed that they detected a non-gravitational acceleration component. In simple terms, the object seems to have slowed down compared to what pure gravity would dictate when solar heating and mass loss are considered. It seems to have been nudged sideways as though by a thrust of sorts. What makes this so shocking is the scale of the effect. For a comet shedding gas and dust, it's supposed to have a small rocket effect that slightly affects its trajectory. But the magnitude and direction of the detected acceleration are pretty unusual. According to Loeb, this strange behavior that Atlas is displaying as it moves close to the Sun, like the strangely large nucleus, the lack of early drag from outgassing, and then the sudden non-gravitational acceleration, means that there's something strange about Atlas. Of course, all the comet scientists are saying that Atlas is simply a natural interstellar body with odd properties, like an unusually massive nucleus unusual composition or a formation history that's very different from solar system comets. Even weirder, scientists are expecting that the Atlas will lose half of its mass in about 6 months, and during the month that it's near the Sun, it will lose about 10% of its mass. This much loss would make it surrounded by a big cloud of gas, which telescopes could detect. Next, the Atlas will be closest to Earth on December 19th, 2025. At that time, telescopes on Earth and in space will have the best view to check whether the ATLAS really lost any mass or not. But Loeb is looking at other theories and suspects that the ATLAS is a mothership from an extraterrestrial civilization that's in another star system. It might be sent to probe our planet and the entire solar system, just like we on Earth also send spaceships to learn more about the world out there. To make things even stranger, as the ATLAS was going closer and closer to the Sun, NASA scientists remembered something strange that they once discovered. There was a wall of fire at the edge of our solar system. NASA finds wall of fire in solar system. It all started in 1977, when the twin Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 probes revealed something extraordinary at our solar system's frontier. As each spacecraft crossed the boundary that we know as the heliopause, where the Sun's solar wind collides with the interstellar medium, they found a region of superheated plasma with temperatures ranging from 30,000 to 50,000 Kelvin, which is about 54,000 to 90,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The nickname Wall of Fire can make it seem like there's a blazing solid barrier at the edge of the solar system. But scientists clarified that it's not exactly a physical wall like one might think. Instead, the zone marks the transition between the Sun's influence and the vast emptiness of interstellar space. It's a place of extreme conditions, driven by interactions between fast-moving charged particles, magnetic fields, and plasma. Inside our solar system, the Sun has a continuous stream of charged particles, which is called solar wind, creating a bubble called the heliosphere, which extends far beyond the outer planet. At its outer boundary, the heliopause, the solar wind finally gives way to the interstellar medium. Here, Voyager detected a sharp increase in plasma and energetic particles. That's what brought up the idea that it's a wall of fire. But why do the edge of the Sun and interstellar space have such a high temperature spike? The extreme temperatures go as high as tens of thousands of kelvins, and they come from compression, turbulence, and magnetic field interactions happening where the solar wind slows, piles up, and meets external forces. Because space is very sparsely populated at these distances, the high temperature refers to the energy per particle and not bulk heat. The probes themselves weren't going to burn up all because they went close to the wall. The discovery changes our understanding of where our solar system ends and the galaxy starts. It helps refine models of how the heliosphere protects us from galactic cosmic rays, which has implications for human space travel. It shows that the boundary region is dynamic and is shifting, turbulent, and more complex than they previously thought. The two Voyagers crossed at different distances, which shows that the heliopause breathes with solar activity. This was the first ever data that we had about the region humans have never visited before: interstellar space. Even though the Voyagers are among our oldest spacecraft, they continue to send data back to Earth from beyond the edge of the Sun's domain. Their observations are now being used to guide future missions, such as the planned Interstellar Mapping and Acceleration Probe, which will further study this boundary region and refine our understanding of how our solar system interacts with the galaxy at large. NASA scientists have their hands full with different discoveries, especially now that the ATLAS is showing some strange behavior as it is weirdly bright and blue. Atlas becomes bright and blue. As the interstellar visitor, Atlas, dove into the inner solar system, something shocking happened. In September and October 2025, its brightness surged and its color shifted to an unusually vivid blue. This combination of rapid brightening and blue hues is highly unusual for a comet-like object and is raising questions about what is driving this transformation and also whether natural or more exotic processes are at play. Typically, comets brighten gradually as they go towards the sun. Ices sublimate, dust and gas are released, and sunlight reflects off the dust to create a growing coma and tail. With Atlas, observations made by solar monitoring spacecraft such as Stereo AI, SOHO, and GOES-19 show a much sharper brightening, following roughly an inverse distance to the Sun raised to the 7.50. It's far steeper than the typical behavior for comets. This implies a very aggressive increase of output or some additional source of visible light. Even weirder, Atlas seems to be bluer than sunlight as it goes to the closest point to the Sun, which we call perihelion. That's odd, because dust normally scatters light in a way that reddens the coma. Many solar system comets seem redder or neutral in color. In contrast, observations show that ATLAS's light is shifted towards blue. That suggests that there are gas emissions rather than reflected dust, all of which are contributing heavily to its visible glow. One plausible natural explanation is that there's a strong emission from ionized molecules like carbon monoxide or carbon monoxide derivatives, and these can emit blue-green light. From a natural perspective, the bright blue behavior of the Atlas could be simply explained if it is rich in volatile gases that sublimate intensely when heated by the sun, producing a strong gas emission component. This is a good explanation of the accelerated brightening and the blue shift. Some researchers say that the ATLAS has high carbon dioxide content, an unusual composition compared to typical solar system comets. But the blue color and the sudden brightening rate have also brought up some other strange ideas. For instance, Avi Loeb has highlighted the possibility of an unusual origin. It is perhaps a body with a technological or artificial component that makes it glow brighter and bluer than expected. This remains highly conjectural and far from widely accepted, but the anomalous behavior is more proof that the ATLAS isn't your everyday comet. As 3L Atlas emerges from behind the Sun and becomes observable from Earth again, astronomers will be watching closely to see how its brightness and color evolve. Will the blue glow fade back to more typical hues? Will the brightness decline at a normal rate? And can spectroscopy isolate the emission lines responsible for the blue light? The answers may help determine whether this object is simply an extraordinary natural comet from another star system or something even more unexpected. With a 30,000-mile fire erupting, 3L Atlas has approached the Sun, reaching its closest point. Astronomers and scientists are watching the behavior of this strange interstellar object. As it has so many weird features, it's hard to believe it's a comet. What do you think would happen when the ATLAS finally reaches Earth? Let's know your thoughts in the comments. So, thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.